Welcome to the final episode of Series 34 and the final episode of 2020, everyone. We welcome back Nick Butler to discuss the modular world-building game Tiebreaker. But before we get to that, we have some announcements. First up, I'm the only one here because it's pretty late on a Sunday. And I did not want to bother Amelia, but I wanted to thank everyone who contributed to the World Builders fundraiser. Together, we were able to unlock quite a few fantastic bonuses for the network, which I am very, very thrilled to hear on both campaign Skyjacks and Skyjacks Courier's Call with some wonderful guest spots by Patrick Rothfuss. Next up, I also wanted to thank everyone who tuned in to my A Tale of Twinkle and Awe stream this last Friday, where we're playing a campaign using the game that I'm working on with Amaraz, Chimera. If you didn't tune in, you missed out on some fantastic Citrusmas festivities before a very surprise ending. For now, we've got a 2-week break, and we'll be streaming again every other Friday starting January 8th, 2021. You can tune in at 7:30 p.m. Central Time that Friday at twitch.chimera.games, or you can catch up on the previous streams at the same location or on YouTube at youtube.chimera.games. And I think that's all that we have for announcements for today's episode. Stick around after the show for the call to action and some outtakes as usual, as is tradition on the third episode of the series. And until then, let's get on with the show. Enjoy. Welcome back to our discussion episode. Last time we created characters for Tiebreaker. This episode we will be discussing the character creation process. We are very thrilled to welcome back Nick Butler, designer of this game. Do you want to reintroduce yourself again for everyone at home and tell us a little bit about the character you made last episode, Nick?
What's good, everybody? It's your boy. I'm back.
You've had some lemonade. Yeah. You're doing great.
Had some lemonade, some reheated Dominoes.
Oh, yeah.
Life is
dream. Good. I was eating some leftover
dream, baby.
Olive Garden breadsticks earlier. It was pretty great.
There you go.
Oh, man. Like, that's the everything and the kitchen sink, huh?
Yep.
So my character is Niet. I based him off of Tien from Dragon Ball Z. We got the whole Dragon Ball Z staples for the key blasting, the mirror image techniques, and punching rocks and making them explode when your best friend dies because they self-destructed on some Saiyan's back. We got all the bells and whistles and 3 abilities.
Oh, wonderful.
Ryan, tell us about the character you made.
So I made Crimson Stainer, a magical girl, elemental magic infused martial artist who's also kind of a brainy person in her day job. And she's able to transform, which really ups her power level for a little bit. She does some fire punching to really deal some damage, and then kind of throws off the opponents with some stuns and exhaustion from her lightning kicks. She's pretty sweet.
It's a really good combo too.
Yeah.
Transform, you're exhausted. Okay, hit me.
Yep.
Oh, you can't? I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amelia, how about your character?
Well, to get back at Ryan for making another magical girl, I made another character who fights with a katana quick and dirty, get in, get out. I started with the concept of having somebody who, like, previously was a champion sort of fell out of favor, and now we're on our way back up to the top. But most of my abilities revolve around getting in quickly, beating people in initiative, dealing damage, being gone before they can do anything to me.
That's awesome.
Oh, I did name them Falcon Swift.
I love it.
Falcon Swift,
which I don't know if it's as good as Luminance Edge, but it's up there.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I agree. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into a segment that we are calling D20 for your thoughts.
D20 for your thoughts?
In this segment, we talk to our guests about their thoughts on the character creation process, how it relates to the system, and to other games.
Yeah, but first, we'd like to get to know our guests a little better before we begin. Can you tell us how you got into RPGs in the first place, Nick?
Well, I've been playing this for a minute, RPGs and stuff. I bought second edition, starter edition for Dungeons and Dragons, and GM'd for my brother and sister one time. They ended up like killing the wyvern with a landslide, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
They weren't supposed to survive that fight, if I recall how that module works out. Like, you're not supposed to fight the wyvern directly because it's like I think it was like a CR5 and they were like CR1, like level 1 characters in that starter thing. But they were like, yeah, how about rocks fall and the bad guys die?
Oh, I like that they got that right on the first session.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like instead of rocks fall, everybody dies. It was just those that opposed them.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah. Again, shout out to my brother and sister. We're very, very family friendly game here. Okay.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Family focused. All right. Yeah, but beyond that, like I ended up not playing D&D for a while after that, and I found a game called Thrash by Aaron Clooney. He made Thrash. Thrash was really cool because it was like an anime RPG, and it was based off of Mechton Z, Mike Pondsmith and stuff, right, from Cyberpunk or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it had a similar, like what I like to call a la carte system, where you pair up your modifiers and whatnot, and you make special attacks like based off of that.
Okay.
Where Tiebreaker kind of like took that and made it more of like a general approach kind of thing with our 3 abilities, because our abilities are supposed to represent anything. Where in Thrash, it was specifically like, this is your Hadouken, this is your Dragon Punch.
Okay.
And it does just the Dragon Punch. It's rising. It has flame on it. So you rise up and you set people on fire and they fall over. Mm-hmm. Right. Whereas you've experienced from the last episode, Tiebreaker kind of takes that and does it a little bit differently. But yeah, so Thrash was like kind of like my eye opener, because I was like, wow, one dude did that. Right. Yeah. Like this like 160 page document, I think it was, or something like that, with like all of these endless possibilities, and it's not a class-based system or anything. And so like teenage me like basically dug through that book, and I was just building stuff for years, like long after he abandoned the project, right? And like, but I fell in love with it because to me, that game is a cult classic. If the cult might just be me, but like I think it's
very small.
I think it's amazing. Well, yeah, like I had some fond memories of a couple of guys from college that we played it. One of the more interesting characters was this guy that we made that he fought with a giant monster truck tire attached to a chain.
Oh boy.
And that was the stuff that we were doing in Thrash, right? And I wanted to kind of like bring that over to more like modernized kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Because Thrash was like extremely country. It was like a lot of math, like different die sizes and things. And like mechanically, it's kind of a mess with the numbers, but like all of the ideas and stuff that you could get from that system, it's just beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I got into RPGs like playing D&D, and then I started finding like little hints that there was an indie system beyond what Wizards had put out for us. And like White Wolf and all those folks at the bookstores. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, only a couple of years ago, like I saw the indie scene like blow up on the internet or whatever. But like back in like the early 2000s when we were all like on dial up and stuff, like, you know, where I'd started like really getting into playing them like more seriously with people.
Yeah.
It started with Thrash and then I just kind of moved on from there.
Very cool.
You mentioned in our earlier episodes that you've kind of been forced into that GM role. But when you sit down to make characters, when you're playing a game, what is your personal process?
Well, my personal process is pretty much written down in the book. I like to start off with a cool concept and then see if the game supports it or not. You know, and if it doesn't, I just try to make my character fit as much as possible to the game's constraints. You know, where it's like if I want a half orc that can jump over buildings and things, like it's kind of hard to do that in Pathfinder, but like, you know, I'll find a way. Like if I have to reskin like the fly spell to only last for a turn or something, just to allow me to jump and then give me like a turn of Featherfall or something, like, you know, we do something like that. We'll find a feat that lets me do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like digging through my books and just like seeing what options are available and then seeing if I can make concepts around that the other way around, you know? So I either start with a concept or I find something that like really tickles my fancy and see if I can build a character around that one thing.
Nice. Very cool. So getting to Tiebreaker, how do we think character creation in this game stacks up to other systems that we've played?
I think that Tiebreaker's character system is a lot more open-ended than a lot of games on the market. It's pretty fast for its, what I like to call its weight class.
Yeah.
You know, where you have like very soft games and then you have like rules medium games and then like really rules heavy games like say like Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Right. Where Tiebreaker kind of fits more in the rules medium. Like it's leaning towards light because the math is very easy. Like it's all pluses. There's no negatives. There's no multiplication, division, whatever. It's just +1 this. And the +1s are not like particularly common. Like you'll end up getting more rerolls than more math.
Yeah.
The way the game is set up. So like on that crunch side, you know, we're right in the middle of the road. Okay. And as far as like making most of your character, like you get your concept, you get your jobs, quirks, you roll your stats, and you pick a couple of things out of a list for your quirks and your standout features. And then when you get to your abilities, like it's either really easy if you have a solid concept, or you already have read the game once or twice, you know, and you understand how the mechanics work, or it can take a while. Because it's a game with a lot of options. Like there's no way to like talk my way around that, you know? And people can get like analysis paralysis if they don't have like a very solid like foothold on what they want, you know? But the game provides pretty much everything that you can want. Like in the realms of like, I want to kick this guy in this particular way. You know, or like, I want to be this kind of ninja. I want to be this kind of politician. You know what I'm saying? Like we have mechanics that fit those kind of things. It's like I was saying in the previous episode, Tiebreaker does 3 things very well. Like we do fighting very well. We do negotiation stuff very well. And we do espionage. Okay. In that order, actually.
I really like how you can go in with the concept and build the abilities and all the mechanic portion of your characters through those concepts. But I also like that you're able to reverse that, like looking at the cool stuff that you want and then pulling concepts out of the different combinations. It sounds like you could put a lot of time into that second way of doing it and get a really interesting character out of it if you looked at mechanics first. But I really like that it's an option, right? Yeah. You're not like forced down, okay, you have to do a concept first and then you can do this. or you have to choose your 2 things per ability and figure out what sort of ability that makes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that, like, once you have a little bit of familiarity with it, like, which obviously the hope is now after people listen to this, they'll have a little bit of a sense of, like, oh, okay, this is what the process of character creation looks like. I think now, having done it once, it would be a lot quicker for me. You know, I do have a problem when there's, like, too many choices. I get a little bit, like, overwhelmed and my brain shuts down.
Yeah,
but
you're not the first person that we've had that's had that problem.
You know, I think that's one of those things of, like, what are you looking for in a game? And, like, you know, for some people, that's going to be, like, a highlight. Is like, I have so many choices. I can do whatever I want. I can, you know, and I definitely think I prefer having a huge list of options to somebody being like, I don't know, make it up. Because then I go, like, I've forgotten my name in the days of the week, and, like, I just, like, my mind blank, no thoughts, head empty. I like having some options to pick from, you know, and I think having done it once, now I would be, like, more comfortable with, like, where things are and, like, what things I need to pick, you know?
Yeah, I like giving people the ability to just, you know, just do what you want to do.
Right.
But I also like having, like, grounded options for people because I understand that people can fall under either of those, like, spectrums, you know what I mean? And like I was saying about Fate the other episode, is that it's really more like, do what you want to do. But if you don't know what you want to do, then the game is very light.
Right.
Like, there's not much game under that, like, with at least with Accelerated, right? But with Tiebreaker, I was like, what if I took that feeling and just gave it just a tad bit more weight?
Yeah.
Right? And, like, a little bit of more, like, look, this is exactly what you can do in this game. Like, at a bare minimum, bare bones level, like, you have all of these options.
Right.
Yeah.
Those options are not the limit. And that's not me saying, oh, well, it's an RPG, so you can do whatever you want. Right. Like, no, like, you literally just do, like, whatever you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've got, like, all of the, like, supporting mechanics that help you just say, hey, like, what if I just wanted to play, like, a fighter jet or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you've given
Build it.
everybody all of the little Lego bricks to, like, build the things that they wanted to build.
Yeah, it's a big old Lego brick game system. Like, you can build, like, anything within the realms of, like, your standard action movie stuff.
Yeah.
And a little bit more, like, you know, because, like, I like things other than action movies, but, you know, like, my movie watching interests, like, I typically like side drama, like, not side dramas, psychological thrillers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like spy thrillers. I like martial arts films and things. So I put a little bit of me into, like, everything. Yeah. Right. Like, and I like to think myself as a pretty average guy as far as my viewing interests go.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about that before too. That's what's wonderful about the world of RPGs, is that there is, like, something for everybody. And I don't think that there's a whole lot of impetus to, like, make a thing that isn't you. Like, you should make a thing that, like, reflects something that you want to play, because that's where your passion is, you know? Like, if you don't love romance games, I don't think that you're the person to make me a romance game then. Like, that's maybe just
really
not, you know.
I'm going to try just to spite myself, but, like
it's a fun thought exercise, but, like, maybe there are people that are better suited to that. And that's, again, totally okay.
That's going to be one of my game jam projects, is just, like, make a romance game. I'm going to sit there and, like, because, like, the fact of the matter is, I do like watching chick flicks.
Right.
It's not my bread and butter genre, but, like, you know, like, I've watched, like, 50 First Dates and stuff, which is not really a chick flick per se, but, like, you know, like, you know, like, I've watched, like, Legally Blonde and, like, The Notebook. Yeah. Like, I watch sappy stuff and comedies and things, and, like, I want to make game mechanics around those because I like game mechanics.
Right, right.
So, like, and I take a lot of my inspiration from the media that I watch. You know,
Absolutely.
like, I like to look at that thing and say, hey, I'm going to turn that into a game mechanic.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I like when stuff like that shines through in games, when you're like, okay, I can see, like, where this came from, because as a player, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do with that then. When there's, like, that parallel comparison where it's like, you're like, it's like action movies, and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do with these mechanics. I know what this game is meant to look like and like what kind of character is going to thrive in this kind of game. Like, this is not the sort of game for me to make, like, I don't know, like a plucky lawyer who falls in love. Like, I don't know. that's not what this is for, and that's okay.
You could definitely do a plucky lawyer.
Right.
It's just like, I don't think the love focus would be what Tiebreaker would suit on too much. Like, it's like you could kind of do that as like a side plot kind of thing, but like we don't have a lot of like courting kind of mechanics, or there's nothing for like the, oh, I've made a mistake and now I have to like run into the rain to meet you at the airport with a little sign on a boombox that says, I love you, playing our favorite song that we met, which is a callback to the beginning of the movie when we had our little quirky meet cute.
What are you saying, that romance movies are formulaic?
I'm saying all movies are formulaic. I am a huge advocate of tvtropes.org.
Oh, yeah.
And so through my like extensive like wiki diving of TV tropes, like I've developed a very large vocabulary for just like the different things that appear in movies, because that's what TV tropes offers. It's just like a lightly academic, but like, you know, so like lighthearted kind of approach to just movie analysis. Well, fiction media analysis in general. So like I think in TV tropes terms for like everything, which is why I was like, hey, a meet cute for like blah, 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 blah. Right.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, because meet cutes are like a very staple trope in the romance genre. Yeah. Right. Like, you know, you have like that guy, he's like having a bad day, like he's like his girlfriend's terrible to him, and then suddenly like he's just like walking around, and the manic pitsy dream girl chick is like all like, hey, like you're really stuffy and stuff, and like I like K-pop and whatever, so why don't you come to the karaoke with me? And the guy's like, well, I don't do that, like I like to just drink lemonade at home and like iron my pants. And she's like, dude, you need to get a life. And I have like absolutely no realistic way that I would be attracted to you in any sort of situation other than this romance plot. But I've decided that I like you, which is why the manic pitsy dream girl is also a terrible trope for amongst other reasons. But like when it works. Tropes are not bad. Yeah. Which is also another TV trope entry.
So how do we think that the process of character creation in this game sort of sets expectations? How does it tell you what playing this game is going to be like?
Well, the character generation thing is just going to tell you that this game is going to be very much focused on you being good at what you do, and that you're probably going to punch something.
Yeah.
And you've got options, lots of options for what punching something means. You've got options for how exactly what happens after you've hit something. What happens if you miss? Like, ways to get out of binds, ways to get into binds. Like, character creation is going to tell you that, like, look, you've got options. Work with them. You've got what we didn't cover in the last episode were our hooks and our questions and things, which I'll go over briefly here, is Tiebreaker characters are motivated. They're extremely motivated people. These are not the kind of folks that just sit down and play video games all day and then do nothing about it. You know what I mean? Which is me in real life. I'm not a tiebreaker. Right? I just wrote it. You know, but it's like you have goals. And these goals pick up questions. And the questions are basically like having that Saturday morning cartoon announcer, or like literally, because my playtester is like, can you put the DBZ announcer as a mechanic into the game? And I said, maybe. I'll give it a shot. And then I did. All right. So like we literally have a next time on Tiebreaker. Will this character fulfill their dream of overcoming the Dark Lord? Blah, blah, blah. Find out on the next time that we meet up. And cool. Also, here's your keys and things for the session. But like, yeah, so you have, will I beat the Dark Lord as one of your questions? And that question is tied to a hook of I need to save the world or something like that. Okay. And then when you answer those questions, it fulfills the hook, and then you get more hope, maximum hope to your party's pool and stuff.
Oh, very cool.
But like, those questions are part of the full character creation experience after you've built your scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your GM has this big bad evil guy that has all of these abilities and these minions and artifacts. And like, there's a lot to the GM section of the game that we didn't cover in the last episode, but it's a lot of tools to make this world and to make your villain like larger than life, right? Like you want a mastermind that's just kind of like twirl their mustache and tie people to the railroad, you know? Like we've got that, you know?
Yeah.
But character creation is referencing all of these possibilities that could happen.
Yeah.
So like through that.
Absolutely. So how do you think the process of creating the world together affects the character creation process then? Well,
it gives you all of the answers to all of your personal questions to what do we need? Like what should I be building towards? Right? Because we built towards Dragon Ball Z, where like I, being only one of the three of us that extensively watched it, built a DBZ character.
Yeah.
But from based on what I told y'all, you built slightly science fiction, martial arts inspired characters.
Yes.
Right. But that's what we worked towards, because what we did in that first like 5 minutes or so was kind of do the scenario generation, but very diluted.
Was kind of explain to Amelia what DBZ is.
Yeah, effectively. But like when you're doing the scenario generation, like you're picking all of the things that you want to see in the game. And that's going to affect your characters because like, hey, like I want to play a game where there's cyborgs and giant monsters or something like that. Right. And so you take those things and you take all of those ideas that you have in your head based on what you know about cyborgs and giant monsters, and then you build your characters around that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, hey, I have hidden compartments in my arms. It's one of my abilities, and they shoot missiles. Or something like that. Yeah. Like this one is an eye laser. This one is like a machine gun turret on my other arm. Like, and that's 3 characters for your like kind of like pseudo Terminator kind of thing, right? And like Amelia might build something with a grappling hook and like sleep dust or something. And then an escape ability, so she can have like a support hunter. I'm sorry, I kind of just stuffed you in that role. Like that's sexist on my part. My bad.
Ryan usually plays the support character. I usually play the backstabbing friend.
That's true.
I honestly play support characters a lot myself. I actually built, I don't know if you saw it in the functions list. There's a lot of roguey in that game because I play rogues, I play tanks, and I play healers. Like when I play MMOs and stuff or Overwatch, like I like those kind of characters.
When I play Overwatch, I always play healers, but in RPGs, I will never, ever, ever play them.
Yeah, that's because healing is not proactive at all.
Because
like
Lucio and Mercy are amazing. So.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about in RPGs, right? Like because like in RPGs, like you're healing a character, you're basically wasting a turn. Like you're better off just killing your target, like just from a tactical perspective, and then heal them afterwards. You know, which is like one of the big
never looks cool. It's never like
like you're not really doing anything. You're just kind of
like undoing. I guess.
Undoing something that happened, which like it's semi-common GM advice to like not do that kind of thing. Right. But the healer role in most RPGs is exactly that. Right. Where in Tiebreaker, we kind of cover that with like having things that remove attrition, but also give you Ignite and stuff based on how much attrition you lost or whatever. So like being a healer in Tiebreaker is fun. Like, you know, because it's a proactive thing. Yeah. Or we have like reactive abilities, like just increasing the defense to the point where like you can't touch me. Like your magical roll did that, which is kind of like you went from the utility, which is mostly support based functions down there, but you made a monster out of that. Right. Because I think that utility characters should be monstrous. Yeah. Right. But yeah, like that's just kind of my spin as a guy that plays a lot of support characters in video games. Like, you know, like I like support, I like tanks, I like rogues. That's typically what I do. Like I definitely play the two-handed barbarian that's screaming bloody murder occasionally too. I'm not going to lie, because that's my personality. But when I'm in a group setting, I usually go for the role that's needed because I know somebody else might have more fun being that berserker. and somebody might actually be better than me, gasp, as the berserker.
Mhm.
But like a lot of people don't like playing support. I do. I like helping people.
Well, there you go.
We're gonna ask you the hard question, and then after that,
What's
the easy
up?
question. What do you think is one of the flaws of this system, and then what do you feel like is one of the best parts?
One of my flaws of the system is that I have way too many options. It's very, very easy to have a character. I mean, like have analysis paralysis in my game. Like that is one of the biggest deterrents to Tiebreaker is that it's off-putting if you haven't played RPGs before, unless you're with somebody that's pretty like semi-knowledgeable of like the medium, right? Like my former boss has taught it to his kids, and they've picked it up, and they're like 10 and minus.
Yeah.
So like it's easy to pick up once you've read it.
Yeah.
But like it's as much as I try to make it very like everyman kind of speech is like, look, we're telling stories. You do dice. You do this. You add these abilities together. You do things, right? But it's not like say, geez, I'm trying to think of like something like really, really simple to play. Say like Rises or something like that might be easier in my game. Where Rises is just kind of like you have like a quirk, and then you have like a couple of things, roll some dice, go. Or like lasers and feelings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would be like much easier to play in Tiebreaker. Like, cause that's as light as you can get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that something that you feel like is just a trade-off that you have to make because of the kind of game you want to have? Or is that something that you're kind of looking for ways to do something about?
Both, but I'm leaning more towards it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Like if I can min-max my ease of use versus the depth of play, I will do as best as I can.
Totally.
And I've done that over the last like 5 or so updates I've done over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But when you're making games like this, like it's very much a design choice that you have to make implicitly.
Absolutely.
Like this is a very intentional that I've made that choice because like, hey, I understand that there's a lot of options and that's going to cause analysis paralysis. But if I don't have a lot of options, you don't have a lot of options. The only other thing I could do is make the game as extremely, what is the word I'm looking for? It's that kind of depth that's like, it's simple, but like you keep like stacking upon it with like a couple of options that can be used a bunch of different ways. Like the term is slipping from me right now, but it's a specific type of design that like you build like very few options that can be used in hundreds of ways.
Oh yeah.
Supergiant Games Transistor Emergent Complexity. That's the word.
Oh, there you go.
Never would have gotten that.
Yeah, or you go for emergent complexity, like, but doing emergent complexity in a way that's intentional is very hard.
Yeah.
Tiebreaker tries that as much as possible, because like ultimately Tiebreaker is roll a couple of d6 for your pool, add some dice if you do some stunts, and then you have functions that change how often you add power level, how often you re-roll.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like, and then movement. But that's the game, like in a nutshell. Like we build on a couple of very simple concepts, and then we add a ton of options that alter those to your specific preferences. So like emergent complexity is a goal that I have been doing, but like you can do what I did in that regard, but limit it to even more choices. But you would have to have those choices be extremely divergent from each other, right? And I think I mentioned Supergiant's Transistor when I was talking about emergent complexity, like before. Transistor is amazing because like you have, I think like 12 different functions in that game that get paired up. Like, I think it's like 2 or 3 different combinations, right?
Okay.
Which is kind of how I came up with Tiebreaker's ABC system. But those 2 or 3 different combinations equal hundreds of different combinations. Right? That fulfill dozens and dozens and dozens of playstyles. in ways that were like, you can look at those and go, wow, okay, so like I can make this missile rebound, or I can not even make this a missile anymore and just make my sword explode on things, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't played Transistor, it's fantastic. The ability design in that game is like, it's AAA. Like, I mean, Supergiant Games is not a small company, but like, you know, they're not like...
They're comparatively pretty small.
Yeah, they're not as like big as something like Ubisoft or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and like you would never get that kind of design out of like Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Assassin's Creed is AAA game. It's huge. It's a blockbuster. It's like you're going around ancient Greece and now like wherever Valhalla takes place. You know what I'm saying? But like that, the very simple concepts that Supergiant does in their games, because all of their games have that same kind of design philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, Hades, I think, has a lot of that too. Where
like,
it's like
Hades,
you have like your couple of boons, and then you start stacking them, and they start like combining to be different things until like you have like
Hades is the pinnacle of that, because it's not even the boon starting there.
This is a reference that I get.
Yeah, with Hades, it's 4 actions.
Yeah, you have your attack, your dash, your special.
You have a dash, a special, and a cast. And those are changed by your weapons. They're changed by your keepsakes and by your boons and by Daedalus. Like, because Daedalus, like, he's a boon.
Yes.
But like,
not really, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a force modifier, basically. Like, and it really starts to shine, like, especially when you use the adamant rail, right? Or the Etzagraph.
Yeah.
Because Etzagraph starts as a machine gun, right? With a very small clip and a grenade launcher. Okay. And then you have your regular cast and you have your dash. But with Daedalus, you can turn Etzagraph's grenade launcher into one giant cluster bomb, like a big rocket. Or you could turn it into a fast rocket. Or you could turn it into like 8 rockets at once. And that's just what you can do on your Q if you're playing on PC, right? That's not touching the rifle part. That's just the special. And then you add boons to that. So like, say we went with the 6 different cluster bomb things, and then we added Zeus to it.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then Zeus
you start to get like the combos of things where it's like, if they have this condition, then this one happens
and that
too,
condition, and then all of those
like,
stack, right?
Like all you're doing. That's a good game. Everyone
all
buy
that
Hades.
stacks.
It's great. I did not think I would like it, and I love it.
Yeah, Hades is definitely like a fantastic game. Shout out to Supergiant Games.
It's one that my son and I have been bonding over. Like, we sit at the kitchen table and play together, and like he's like, "Oh, I got this one. Which boon should I pick for this?" And like, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And its accessibility options are top notch too with the God mode. And you
have pretty great poly relationships, which
it's fantastic. It's very LGBT friendly too, which I'm very much for. Like, that's kind of one of my big platforms is like, I feel like everybody deserves to be a badass. Yeah. And like, that's one of Tidebreaker's like main standpoints, is that I want people to feel badass while playing my games. You know what I'm saying? So like, whoever you are, like if you have a disability or if you're gay or whatever, like, it doesn't matter if you're black.
Dear listeners, you can't see, but
follow me on Twitter. Look at my profile picture. Understand why that joke hits hard.
I couldn't see the jazz hands that went along with it, but it was great.
But, you know, that being able to talk like that, like at the table, like I feel like is important for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like having my game say like, look, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Is important to me. That goes into my game design. It goes into like, look, this is a collaborative world building experience. Like back in the back session of my GM session, like I say, keep it heroic. It's not just a hashtag. Okay. Like I want everybody to feel like a hero or a heroine or hero, whatever your gender pronoun turns that into. I don't know exactly how that works, but I want you to feel good. Okay. Like
he rocks.
Yeah, or
you could just be hero. It's fine.
Yeah, like, oh man, that's cringe on my part. My bad. Please don't hate me, Twitter. I love you. Okay. But yeah, I want you to feel good. Like that's who I am, and that's how I want my games to shine in that way. Like you're gonna play my game because you're a badass. You know what I mean? That's it. Like, well, next topic.
Right.
Excellent. Well, let's go then into one of my favorite portions of the show, the fan fiction portion, where we get to figure out what brought these people together and what do we do once we're together? What sort of shenanigans do we get up to?
Yeah, what is it? What is our hook for this group of people? Why are we together?
Yeah, how did the actual DBZ character come up with the Space Ninja and the Magical Girl?
Well, okay, so Amelia, your character, what is it, Falcon Swift?
Yeah.
You're effectively coming out of retirement, right?
Right. Right. I mean, I feel like there's got to be some kind of like tournament arc.
Yeah,
here.
there's definitely a tournament or something. Like we're the quirky like B group.
Yeah, I got to like defend my title.
It's just like there is an insidious evil that takes something more than screaming really loud and shooting giant blasts that's going to dig its tendrils into the earth and then take control of the world. And the only people that can stop this is, for some reason, not Goku, because all he does is scream and throw giant beams at things. So if we, okay, so I like the concept of a tournament. What if it's like a trio tournament, like a group tournament, where you have to have a trio to enter, and we need to get to the top of the tournament. As I'm thinking, Nick, your character and I probably knew each other before the tournament. And I want to say we were kind of under the idea of, hey, we need to get to the top to stop so-and-so who's also in the tournament. And maybe that's where we reached out, like, we need a third. Who better can we get than Falcon Swift, the former champion from, the singles division? I don't know what you want to call it. I like that. I would say that
retirement as a talk show host. I don't know.
Yeah.
That Falcon Swift was doing a segment on the new martial artists and ghost fighting, because Niet's an exorcist.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right, and you're a magical girl, which I feel like just as a correlation to my own character also kind of fights like evil spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we do that, and Amelia's character kind of like gets us together, and she, through her various interviews and things, has found that there is an underlurking threat within the tournament.
Ooh.
But we have to go under the guise of just being regular martial artists and stuff. And while we do that, we explore the deep underpinnings of the secret society that have been taking the ghosts of defeated characters and like making them possess the different martial artists and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
A vast conspiracy.
Yeah, and through that, they will eventually overcome the Z fighters like Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta and them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they, because all of their powers happen to be extremely like direct damage types, with the exception of Master Roshi, who's indisposed.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, like he would just solve the plot on himself because the evil containment wave.
There you go.
But maybe it's just too much. And like we end up having to have Roshi like help us. Like he teaches us a little bit of his ways to contain demons and evil spirits and things.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe I'm one of Roshi's students, and that's how I got through it. And like Roshi is currently away in space somewhere, probably still during the Tournament of Power arc where all of them are gone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so back home, we're solving this problem because every other cast member in the show is gone.
Okay.
Oh, the B team.
Well, we're the C team.
That's
The C team.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I think that would work out really well.
Yeah, we're Team C. We're definitely the filler arc.
Is this where we get our own spin-off or attempted spin-off?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Or at least a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball G for Ghost.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, I think that'll work out. And
if we had episode titles, that's what this would be called, Dragon Ball G.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's great. I don't know. I don't think there's anything we really need to add to that. That's pretty.
No, I feel like we nailed it.
Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, pretty good at improvising stuff.
There you go. All right. Well, then let's get into our advancement discussion and take it up a level.
Take it up a level. Take it up a level.
All right, I like that.
So in this segment, we cover character advancement and character growth within the system. So let's start by the mechanical part. When characters, quote unquote, level up, what does that look like? How does that work?
We don't have a level-based system, but we definitely have progression.
Mm-hmm.
And the progression type is actually one of the key features of the game, because you can alter Tiebreaker to fit like any kind of playstyle that you like. We're going to also add something later before Kickstarter is called the Grooves Update, which changes very basic features of Tiebreaker, like maybe you're not rolling dice anymore, maybe you're playing with tarot cards. But changing your progression would be one of the things that you do. But Tiebreaker comes pre-installed in the installed using computer terms anyway, with a couple of different progression types that you can use to advance your characters. The standard progression is whenever you do a trick, which is to just do a regular stunt but add a function to your attack at the end of it, you get a key. If you get 5 keys, you get an upgrade. Each of your abilities has 5 unlock points to access. Whenever you perform a trick, you mark a checkbox for the key that's the associated ability you associate a trick with. When you have your 4th trick, and that's your 4th key. That's a typo. When you have your 5th trick, and that's your 5th key, you pick an unlock, and the keys you get cannot be used for unlock points on other ability tracks, and any you gain after your 5th has been gained are lost. So you just switch up your tricks and your abilities as you go, or else your progression is going to stagnate just a bit. And that's the standard progression type. So do stunts, get keys. So the looter progression type is more for our old school OSR type fam, where beating up monsters and taking your stuff is their idea of fun. So whenever you do a trick in combat, you instead gain momentum equal to your wits. But you don't mark the trick on your character sheet. Instead, you'll gain new functions permanently when you find them in the form of new weapons, spells, scrolls, etc. that your GM spreads across the gaming world. So, i.e. treasure. At the end of battle or any milestone scene, which is finishing up a goal or permanently dealing with a major enemy, you gain, or if you gain loot, you mark a key. So you get your 5 and then you get an unlock point. And those are our 2 main progression types in the current early access edition.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you then choose one or the other when you're playing, or?
Yeah, the GM says, hey, we're going to be playing standard progression, or we're going to be playing looter, or whatever else we add before Kickstarter's over.
Nice.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'm working with by Francita on Twitter on her own personal setting that's going to be released alongside Tiebreaker, which we are calling Piety, which is based on a city with several different religions and things. And her setting is going to also be the reason why I'm making another progression for devotion. So like the more you worship a particular god or so, you get keys that way.
Okay. Very cool.
And there'll be like new tables and things for the things that you can get, like getting boons and things to apply to your weapons and stuff.
Cool.
Nice.
So like you can get your weapons enchanted and stuff using by Francita's progression.
Nice. So what effect does this advancement have on the narrative? Does the mechanical benefit represent something in the story?
Yeah, actually. So like one of the best ones for that is called blending, is one of the upgrades that we have. So you can choose upon reaching an upgrade point to expand upon your abilities by picking a source, either yourself via another ability you have, one of your allies' abilities, or recurring villain / the environment. So based on your choice, you can install a function from that source to an ability of your choice. The install just means that one of the tricks that you know, it becomes part of your core ability. So say like my martial arts ability of flurry and overwhelming, like if I wanted to like say now it's massive and I can hit everybody in the zone, when you use a trick the first time, you get that for free. Every other time you want to use a trick, it costs 5 momentum. So if I install it, it's just part of my core ability, and I can massive flurry overwhelming everybody all day long.
Cool.
Okay. That's very cool.
For instance, like if I wanted to blend instead and say, wow, Falcon's like ability to like just move like really freaking fast would be really nice. So like I would like to put like hyper on my martial arts instead, you know? Like, so that's pretty cool. So I could do that.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
And yeah, and then we have sync, which is very like much tied to like story stuff, because you get to roll cliffhanger with an ally. You practice together. You learn how to combine the effects of one of your abilities. Failure creates a training related issue. You can try again once you deal with the issue. Issues are just like things that block your story progression, and they restore hope when you get over them.
Okay.
So you spend 10 momentum each to add your ally successes to your attack, and your attack triggers on the slowest teammate's turn that's involved with the synced upgrade.
Oh, very cool.
So like fans of Chrono Trigger will notice that as dual attacks.
Oh, nice.
So we have team attacks in Tiebreaker. Yay!
I like that. Very cool. So yeah, it sounds like a very interesting advancement with a lot of fun little options that you could have in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to say about Tidebreaker before we head out for the episode, Nick?
Well, say we've got tons and tons of GM stuff. Checked out the early access edition, look through the GM section, and check out our artifacts and stuff. Like if you want to do like Indiana Jones, if you want to do like various horror movie stuff, like whatever we got, like whatever you want, we're probably going to put it in there some way, somehow through what we already have there or through the grooves coming up. Like, for instance, like we have Fearbreaker that's going to be coming out for Tiebreaker as one of the grooves, where like the attrition, which normally would go away after a combat or an intense scene, it stays.
Oh, wow.
And your bad guys get the ability to off-screen teleport and sneak up behind you. Oh. And Harbingers will also like emulate jump scares doing that. Right? So like genre emulation is going to be one of Tidebreaker's strong suits. And while the core experience is definitely like more action element oriented, Tidebreaker is meant to be hackable through grooves. So like people that want to put out their own supplements for this game can just make grooves for the game. You know what I mean? And then write their settings, because like, you know, I know people like writing settings, but they might not want to be too much into making their whole entire game or mechanics and stuff, which is part of why like PBTA is so successful, because like it's super easy to just make a PBTA hack. You know, you just make new moves and you're pretty much done. You just write a setting and make everything fit whatever tropes and stuff that you were trying to go for, and you're good. Like with Tidebreaker, I kind of want to do the same process, but you don't have to buy like a new whole book or design a whole full game for every single thing that you want to put out. Like just write some setting books and say, hey, or we're using this groove, and this groove, and call it a day. If you want to build a new subsystem, go for it. But like we're very designer friendly. We're very writer friendly with this game. My dream is to put out a store similar to the DM's Guild, but without the tomfoolery associated with that. Like, you know, like I want to take like a very small cut so I can pay for my network costs and stuff, like maybe like 3 to 4%, maybe. Like I'm not good with numbers, but I think DM's Guild takes like 7 to 8 or something ridiculous like that.
They own it, don't they? Like there's like there's
they
like
own it. You can't like post it on other things. Like, look, I don't care. Give me a shout out. Give me a couple of dollars. Throw it all over the place. As far as I'm concerned, you're giving me free marketing.
Right. Because then people are playing the game that goes along with it.
Yeah. So like, I want to give folks a storefront and a place to make their own stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about that with a J too, that like, and Bolt is like the big issue with like Genesis hacks and stuff like that too, of like, I want to like own my own stuff, and you know.
Jay is a good friend of mine. Like I said, he's been very influential to how I've been approaching things on a business standpoint. Like I wouldn't have put out an early access edition if it wasn't for Jay. So like, thanks, bro. Hope you're listening to this. Like, you know, Jay actually, like he better be listening to this. Like he actually hooked me up with y'all. So like, you know what I mean? That would be super ironic. Yeah, but like a J is very much about like getting paid for your work.
Right.
And like I didn't think that my work was going to be worth money until I had money, you know, to like pay for all the pretty art and stuff. And I want this game on stores, you know, like I want to build a platform for other people, you know, like because there's a lot of marginalized folks that aren't getting the spotlight that they need, you know, and like my friend D Pennyway, they say like to decenter yourself from the conversation when it comes to that. But like, I can't do that until I have a platform yet.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To decenter myself from, right? Like I want to be put into a position where I can help others and then step aside, you know, but like that starts with getting enough money to get the art to attract the people that are outside of my small Twitter social circle. You know what I mean? Like I've got 1,200 some odd followers at the moment, right?
Yeah.
And maybe 30 or 40 of them are ever like actively like listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to the other like 1,100 of y'all, but like I still love you. Like my love is not dependent on you supporting my money, my work monetarily speaking. Like I like that you're just there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even if you come by, you give me a like every once in a while. If you're just lurking and reading, thank you. You know, like I wouldn't be where I am now talking on podcasts and stuff at all. Like if it wasn't for those folks that were following me, occasionally retweeting me, or just making me look more important than I actually am by following me. You know? It's like I look like a juicier target because I'm plus 1,000 versus like 40 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's definitely value in things like that, like follows and likes, and like as much as we want to be like, I don't care how many people.
Yeah, it's just numbers. Like, no, I'm definitely more influential than I was when I started. You know what I mean?
Well, and like, you know,
there's a certain power that comes to that.
I make, like, you know. Yeah,
I really do. I want to help people. You know, and I can't do that until I get to a position where I actually have the power to do so. You know, like I want to be like one of my contemporaries for the ego of my part for saying that would be Brandon Ditson, like from Swordsfall. You know what I'm saying? That guy's got 14.5K. Yeah. You know, and he's doing amazing things. I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I love the dude because like he and I, like, we may not be approaching things exactly the same way, but his goals are very similar to my goals, where he wants Black people to do well in games. You know what I'm saying? So like as far as him is concerned, like I love the dude for that. You know what I mean? But I have to get to where he's at to like even have a shot. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's like $100,000 some dollar Kickstarters that he's been doing and stuff. Like it's amazing. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Like with Ajay with like what is he at? Like 3.3 something K? Like did like 30,000. And like he gets to keep like most of that, you know, like after he pays his artists and everyone else who's helping him, because he didn't even print. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like he just did his stuff as PDF and he was done. Like I want to be in stores. Exactly. You know, so like my goals are a lot loftier than his. You know, like I've got some ambition, but I need help. Like I hate begging, but like I gotta humble myself a little bit because like, look, man, I can't do it without support. Yeah. So like, please buy the game, buy some merch. I'm gonna be upfront. Like the merch doesn't give me as much money as buying the game because markup and like print on demand stuff. Like that's just a little bit of a sidetrack into the business side of things. Printing on demand is a little cheaper than like just buying like hundreds of t-shirts that nobody might buy, but it still costs me money and I only get like $3 or $4 a shirt. The shirts are more for like advertising reasons, so please buy a shirt, like, so tell people about my stuff, but like buy the game because I get more money off of that, and the more copies of the game I sell, the quicker I'm going to be able to get the art and the layout and the editing needed to make this official.
You're going to have more fun playing a game than wearing a shirt.
Exactly.
I don't know. My shirts look really good. I think you might have an equal amount of fun. But play the game.
Do both.
Do both. Like, I had a friend that did both. God bless him. He did it on his birthday too, and I feel bad about that because I didn't get him anything. My man Jamie bought a shirt, bought the game, and I was like, "Oh, God bless you." Like, another $30 for me. It's like, that was dope. But yeah, man, that's what it is. What it is, man. I've got big dreams and a lot of people that are making the dreams in my circle, and like, I'm not trying to be jealous or anything. I just want to be in a position where I can help more folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's one of the things is like, it's not a finite resource. Like, other people succeeding doesn't stop me from succeeding. So like, I definitely support people doing those cool things and like getting it. But like, I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, just throw the money my way and I'll do what I can to help everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Well,
but that's my goal.
Yeah.
To get in the store, like when my name gets big, all the other ships around me float too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
absolutely. Well, Nick.
Join my fleet.
Yeah. Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us to talk about Tidebreaker. Can you remind everyone where they can find you online?
At Follow My Blade on Twitter. You could also find me in the game at tidebreakerrpg.com. Like, I spent a lot of money on getting that domain.
Yeah.
Might as well visit it.
Exactly.
Yeah, please visit the site. We put some work into that. And by we, I mean me, because it's just me at the moment. You know what I mean? So holla at me. I'm around. Join the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Discord links are anywhere attached to my social media or on the website.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much for
Play the
sitting
game.
down with
Hang
us.
out.
Yes, play the game. Buy the game. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and thank you to everyone for tuning in.
Thanks again, everyone, for joining us for our Tidebreaker series. We had a lot of fun with this system and really went into some interesting places with our discussion, so I hope you enjoyed that. I just wanted to remind everyone to check out my A Tale of Twinkle and Awe live stream again in about 3 weeks or so from the day this episode releases, starting on January 8th, 2021. We'll be streaming every other Friday from that point on until the story is done. For now, you can get caught up on our past streams if you missed out, either at twitch.chimera.games or youtube.chimera.games. It is a lot of fun, and my cast is absolutely phenomenal, and I think you would really enjoy it. So definitely check that out if you have a chance. Remember, we have next week off, so everyone, please enjoy your holidays safely. Wear a mask, keep your distance, and we'll be hopeful that 2021 will be a much better year than this one has been. We are very, very grateful that you are spending your time with us here during these times. It really does mean the world to us. But if you do have time to spare for more podcasts, I really wanted to give a special show blurbs shout out to the cast of A Horror Borealis, which is also on this very network, where they are playing through Stephen King's It, using Christine Previs's hack of Monster of the Week, Back to Derry. This is a mini series that they're titling Losers, a Love Story. Losers is the name of the group of kids from the It franchise, if you're not familiar with it. And it's a love story. It's a horror story. But also it's focused around the relationships of these kids and them all grown up and coming back to Derry and trying to end this menace once and for all. Content warnings galore, though. It's extremely spooky at times. There is a lot of adult language every single episode, and some adult situations here and there. And my goodness, a lot of potentially triggering content. So please listen safely. We do add content warnings at the beginning of every episode as well in the show notes. And we're starting to add timestamps to particularly troubling content. So that way you can skip right over those if you want to listen to something spooky, but not something intensely spooky in some situations, perhaps. Now, I do happen to be the sound designer for this project, so it would be fantastic if you could check it out and hear that project brought to life. And, leave a review maybe if you like what you hear. Or just let me know or let the cast of the show know how they're doing or how you like it, because we love hearing from you, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's through an official review of sorts. So I think that's enough of a side tangent for me with this fairly impromptu show blurb. This is what happens when you leave me alone, Amelia. It's okay. But take care, everyone. Keep making those amazing people. And we'll see you next year. Character Creation Cast is a production of the One Shot Podcast Network and can be found online at www.charactercreationcast.com. Head to the website to get more information on our hosts, this show, and even our press kit. Character Creation Cast can also be found on Twitter at CreationCast or on our Discord server at discord.charactercreationcast.com. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Bolter, and I can be found on Twitter at Lord Neptune or online at lordneptune.com. Our other host, Amelia Antrim, can be found on Twitter at Ginger Reckoning. Music for this episode is used with a Creative Commons license or with permission from the podcast they originated from. Further information can be found within the show notes. Our main theme music is Hero Remix by Steve Combs and is used with a Creative Commons license. This podcast is owned by us under Creative Commons. This episode was edited by Ryan Bolter. Further information for the game systems used and today's guests can be found in the show notes. If you'd like to leave us a rating or review, we have links to various review platforms out there, including Apple Podcasts, in our show notes. Also, check the show notes for links to our other projects. Thanks for joining us, and remember, we find that the best part of any role-playing game is character creation. So go out there and create some amazing people. We will see you next time.
Now we gotta read some show blurbs.
Show blurbs.
Show blurbs.
Show blurbs.
Show blurbs. Character Creation Cast is hosted by the One Shot Podcast Network. If you enjoyed our show, visit oneshotpodcast.com, where you'll find other great shows like Campaign.
Campaign is an actual play podcast exploring long-form role-playing. The current campaign, Skyjacks, takes place in an original setting inspired by the music of the Decemberists, folktales, and classic adventure fiction. Join Liz Anderson, John Patrick Cohen, Tyler Davis, Johnny O'Mara, and Game Master James D'Amato as they tell a tale of daring sky pirates. Also, it's basically an elaborate retelling of Weekend at Bernie's. Just search for Campaign or James D'Amato on iTunes, Google Play, or your favorite podcast app.
All right. Ryan, I'm going to apologize in advance. My brother is here with his very barky chihuahua, who is barking at my puppy, who is then barking back at said chihuahua. Also, my mom was like, I'm going to be vacuuming. Is that okay? And I was like, I guess.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I'll clean it up. It's fine.
So, like, at least my children aren't home?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the best I can do for you.
My kids and my wild dogs are home, so I also apologize for similar reasons.
Yeah, there are 4 dogs and a mom vacuuming, so.
Yeah.
I don't have the vacuuming problem maybe yet. I don't know, but anyway.
I'm okay.
We'll see. There's still time.
I'll make it work.
Yeah, so I was like, screw that. I'm going to make my own casino with blackjack and hookers, right?
Yes.
I miss you. Please come back again. No, don't come back again.
Yeah.
Let me just live in the nostalgia.
Absolutely.
So, what is unique about this game? Ryan, did I skip your question, or did you do yours already?
I did not.
Oh,
but,
okay. Well, then you do or do you feel like we did that already?
Well, let's cover it. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's follow our outline, see where it goes.
Podcast to see what happens.
I know. See what happens. That's fine.
Oh, gosh.
Or can they see me? Is this going on YouTube?
No.
Oh. But then they won't be able to see how much I'm smiling at all these jokes and stuff.
It's an untapped market, right?
YouTube?
Well,
maybe
us being on YouTube. That's true.
I mean, we totally could put these out, but then everyone would have to see all the times where I get up because I left my glasses over there, or go to my closet to get a sweater, or
edit it in post.
That's what editing's for. I've got editing software now. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
This
sounds like more work.
Writer of Tidebreaker gets this podcast to go on YouTube. Calling it ahead of time.
We'll be sure to credit you when we finally do.
Please do.
Yep.
I like free marketing. Heather, I want a vase full of D6s for Christmas. The girlfriend says cool. All right. So we're stealing that idea from you. Thank you. But yeah, I forgot the question. Because I was like...
It's evil Ryan that is always trying to get me to watch DBZ, so...
Shout out to evil Ryan.
Yeah.
He's got good taste.
At least he's not trying to get you to watch TMNT, so...
No, that's true. That's Jude.
No, watch that too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, no. No, that's it. Shut it down. Show's over. We're not talking about the Ninja Turtles here.
Oh, I grew up with that.
So here's the thing.
Funny.
Here's the reason I hate them. My brothers loved the Ninja Turtles. My brothers never let me do whatever they were doing. And everything like that, or I wouldn't get to do what I wanted to do because my brothers were doing their thing, and there were two of them and one of me. So it all kind of goes together. It's just a...
I have happy memories of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I almost drowned in Atlanta when I was 9.
Oh, wow.
And my grandmother, bless her heart, she has this very wry sense of humor where I wake up in my hospital bed with a tub of water next to me. And inside the tub of water is a Donatello action figure, but this one swims. Oh. So she's like, that's what it looks like when you do it right. So I'm like, okay, I almost drowned, but I got a free action figure and it was awesome. So I was like, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
I know we had this one Ninja Turtle toy that shot little tiny pizzas, and I liked that one.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
I remember that one fondly.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm a huge Piccolo fanboy. So, Saiyans can suck it. No, I hate Saiyans. They're stupid and broken and make everything bad. Yeah, so all the Vegeta fanboys, fight me. Anyway. What is that? Yeah, I should be more familiar with actually guiding people through this process, considering I've done it hundreds of times. That's only a mild exaggeration. I've had quite a few playtesters. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty lucky in that regard. But no, it's maybe 50, but still, I've done 10 tables ish.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I don't know by your metric if that's a large exaggeration or not, but it's definitely an exaggeration of some extent.
It's in the ballpark.
Yeah, we're in the ballpark. 100.
Yeah.
Gotta put an optimistic skin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Not spin, but skin, because this game is really about reskinning stuff and then making it fit. Alright, so let's go to character generation. No, I actually have the document open. I should have did that about 20 minutes ago.
I like that you lean into the mic for that part too. Like, not only do you do the voice, but you like get really close.
I got to get close so I can see the record button too. Because like if I'm here, I still have to tilt my head because it's way in the upper left-hand corner.
You don't have to see it. You hover over it. And then when you say it, you click.
I don't want to mess it up. Because like knowing
it's too
me,
high stakes.
I know. Knowing me, my hand will move just enough. It'll be like 2 pixels off.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And then we'll record the whole thing and then we'll have to do it over because you won't notice.
But also I do it because it's nice to lean in. Get that nice little extra ASMR.
Get that vocal fry. That good.
Get that vocal
Get
fry.
that good vocal fry.
Clicky. Whoa.
Okay.
That's a waveform. But before we get to that, we have
a little bit of a cough.
rice in my throat, apparently.
Oh no.
Had Chinese food.
Ooh, that
for
actually
lunch.
sounds really good.
Oh, it's so good, but no.
I haven't had Chinese food in so long. Can't wait for all this to be in the outtakes.
Oh, God.
But first, we have some Chinese food.
Yep. All right. Call to action.
Just gonna trying to read this review real quick before I have to
Actually read it.
Mess it up on air. Cooking up the peoples.
I like that. So good.
Oh my God. Ooh, let's hate on actual plays here, huh? Did you see the Released podcast commenting on Brendan Langambetta's post or whatever, and those character creation sucks, it's the worst part of games, and I commented from our account and was like,
ouch.
Rude.
I don't, what are you doing?
Hey now.
It only sucks because you've never had me on this show.
We've never had you on the show because apparently you think it sucks. So
I know. No, they're really cool people. I played what was it? It's a game where you, what was it? Marie Kondo, the organization lady.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the actual game, but it's a play on that, and it's all about you adventure by trying to fit the proper items within your slots, your backpack.
Oh.
And you have to choose which items to keep and which items to discard on your adventure.
But only things that bring you joy.
Yeah, and depending on how much space you have left, depending on what items you have, depending on all that sort of stuff, it gives you results of whether you survive or not, like your outcome.
Oh, that's weird.
It was really interesting. We beat the enemy. We did perfect. We got the loot. We were on our way home, and my character fell off the cliff and died at the bottom. Everybody else made it home safely.
Those cliffs, they'll get you every time.
But even though I died, I had a good outcome.
Yeah.
So I was a paladin, I think, and I ascended to heaven as a hero of the realm or something like that. So it was a good outcome for me, even though I died. So it was just really interesting storytelling.
God, games are so cool.
I know.
Games are so cool.
You caught my typo.
I'm a professional.
You are.
I've been watching Saint Seiya a lot recently too.
Okay.
It's kind of like yoga. He was kind of smarty. And Pegasus was the dumb shonen lead protagonist guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just hot-blooded and just but my friends kind of dude.
Yeah.
Not really good at anything other than just being the hero.
Ryan, remind me next time. Please cut this out because we're going to surprise everyone. I don't know what game we're doing next time. Oh, we're doing the one with Jeff. But I feel like I need to make a himbo.
Okay.
Is that Stormer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got an interview with him in like 2 weeks. That's my homie.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun last time he was on our show. I'm excited to like.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout you guys out like when I'm on his show.
Oh, very nice.
It's like, hey, if you want to do like the character creation stuff that we did before this,
yeah,
look at this podcast, and we'll see us do it there.
Awesome.
And now to play 1v1 game. Solo pod. Yeah.
I really want to go on Party of One.
And all that's been cut out.
That movie was aggressively mediocre.
Oh, was it? Oh, after all that?
It was like, so I took my kids to see it and was like, oh God, I can't believe I have to sit through this movie. And it was like, I sat through it and I was like, this was not as bad as I expected it to be, but it wasn't any better than I expected it to be. It was fine. Like, would I be excited to watch it again? No. Would I hate to watch it again? Also, no. It was fine. Like, as far as movies for kids go, it could have been so much worse. Mm-hmm. I feel like Detective Pikachu was still better, but it was fine. It was fine. That's my rating. It's a solid, like, 5 out of 10.
There you go.
I am recording.
Ooh, I had a little bit of a late click there, but I think it'll be fine. It's a very small E at the end there, so whatever. Gosh, that recording like drained me in such a good way. Like
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
But also, like, I slept until like I gotta go like play with my puppy, and then my mom, like, right before we started, texted me SOS, and so, like, went running. I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, Greg's coming Wednesday instead of Friday, so we have to get the whole house cleaned. And I was like, it's Greg. I'm like, Greg is my younger brother. I'm like, he doesn't, he lives alone. Like, it's him and his dog. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care if the house is dusty.
No, hardly anybody does.
My mom does. So then, while we were recording, she also texted a whole list of chores that need to get done.
Mm-hmm. I have never gone to somebody's house and said, wow, look at all this so dust. Why are they so... These people are horrible.
Yeah, they're slobs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, and then Dan and I had a whole fight about the kids' school today because he wants to send them back.
Ugh. They sigh.
So really what I'm saying is I just want a nap, but I don't think I can.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, that sucks.
I know. Anyway, cold open, huh?
All right, let's get this.
How about that cold open, huh?
How about that cold open?
How about that episode 34.2?
Yeah, that I haven't finished editing yet.
I don't know. My philosophy with 2020 is like, if it gets done eventually, that's great. That's
I almost
amazing.
have to do it today, though, because I've got the next episode of Losers Love Story. And that's like a love letter to sound design. It's so good. And I've got to get that out by Friday or so. Because I'm getting paid for that work.
Okay. Are you ready?
Here we go. 5 count.
I am recording.
Me too.
Same, bro.
Woo! Nailed it.
Yeah. Step 1 done.
Like, we're like halfway to being total professionals at this.
I know, right?
That's all you had to do.
Who you can find him on Twitter. I believe it's Yaruki0. Let me double check. Because that was his old name on his website. And Clooney. Wow, I can't spell. Anyway, you can look him up later. But yeah, Aaron Clooney's cool. Yeah, and I'm definitely cishet, but like I've got a little bit of I mean, you know what I mean?
Look, we're all a little, yeah.
It's
a Kinsey, it's a scale.
I was gonna say Kinsey scale. Dude, what's up? Yeah, it's definitely a scale. Like not 10 points is straight, probably like 8. You know what I mean? Not enough to bang a dude, but like enough to like be like, hey, you know that guy's handsome. I like your beard, bro.
That's what my friend says. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty straight, but like we could talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
For me, it's Vin Diesel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a point or 2 lower. Okay, back to the game. Yeah, exactly.
then we can hit stop.
All right.
Word. Peace out.
We did it.
Job.
Nice.